This is Beyond with Heather Tesch, where we examine near-death experiences and life itself, hopefully making this life a little better. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My guest today is Roland Walters. Roland, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Heather, for having me. I'm glad to be here.
We had a really interesting talk in the last episode, and we talked about your near-death experience. So if folks would like to listen to that, there will be a link in the description. But I also want to talk about your energy work and healing. And for those of you listening, stick around because at the end, Roland is actually going to do a healing session for all of us. And I've worked with you, Roland. I'll just give a little background here. We met at the IONS conference, the International Association for Near-Death Studies. And we met and we chatted, and that was just a really fun experience because I could tell you were very intuitive by some of the things that we discussed. So at that point, I decided to sign up for your healing session, and I was blown away by it. Everybody that was there was blown away by it. It just stayed with me for the rest of the day into the night until I fell asleep. So we'll talk about that. There's so much to cover, but let's start at when you began healing. And I know this started with your daughter.
It did. So this would be a little over 15 years ago. She was around 4 or 5 months of age. My daughter, Shayla, was born with Downs, but she also had a heart defect, essentially 2 holes in the heart, so between the valves or something like that. So it led to congestive heart failure. So at that age, she actually had a heart attack and died. It was one of those scenarios that it took 45 minutes to bring her back. She was kind of losing her and bringing her back, which I can only imagine what NDE she went through during that time.
Right.
But she was revived, but unfortunately she ended up having brain damage and led to spastic cerebral palsy and was with us for another 10 years. But what kicked us in, what you're referring to, is she was in intensive care, PICU, pediatric intensive care for quite a while, and was kept unconscious and to keep her calm for quite a while so her heart can heal some. But she also had tubes running in her that was pumping her blood for her, things like that. Anyway, I came in one night. I was staying at home with my son and came in one night to check on her. And, she's just a little thing. She's 4.5, 5 months of age, and she's only wearing a diaper, and she has a light over her that I guess is trying to keep her warm. And, just like any parent, you're going to go and see, are they warm? Are they cold? Are they too warm? Are they too cold? And of course her chest is, the whole abdomen, everything is the size of my hands. So anyway, I went up and was just going to just lightly touch her, see if she's warm or cold. And I couldn't touch her. There was literally like, if this is her body, it was a bowl of energy over her, not just the heart area, because it covered her whole chest, her whole abdomen area. But literally, like if you took a bowl and flipped it upside down, I could feel it. I could rub all the way around it. And of course, like I touched that, and I pulled my hand back and look around and I touch it again. And then I decided to push on it. And when I pushed on it, she's unconscious. So when I pushed on it, all her limbs jumped, her arms and legs all jumped. But I still hadn't touched her yet. I actually hadn't touched her. It's like that far off her chest. And maybe even a little more, but so I kind of stopped, and then I did it again and like 2 more times, and each time she would jump. And I didn't do it anymore. And I remember the nurse coming in, checking a few things and seeing me do it. And she didn't want to talk about it. She just left. I was wanting to get her to see if she could feel it, but but she didn't. She wanted nothing of that. So, but I spent time with her and stuff. But after that night, and when I left the hospital that night, it was literally, I remember walking out of the building going, I got to figure this out. I got to figure this out. I don't know what this is, but I got to figure this out. I got to do something with it. And all my life, I've felt energies. I mean, I felt energies off of people, and just most of the time just kind of closed it up. I'd open up, and then, somebody'd say something or something would happen that would be like, okay, I can't do that. I just close it off and forget it for a while. But so this didn't surprised me in a way that I felt something. I just wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it with her. So yeah, that's what kicked things in gear. And I think when I finally said, I've got to do something with this, then everything started kicking. It's like the ball started rolling. In other words, for too long, I met one person who led me to another person, and started finding that community of different energy workers of some sort that was allowing me to experience different things and just open up those doors.
And so if somebody wants to come to you for healing, how does that work? And can they do it online, or do you do it in person?
I do it both. But I'll be honest with you, the majority of my work is remote. It's just generally through a phone call. I don't need to see anybody. We don't need to look at each other through any kind of visual. It's just through the phone. Most of my clientele is, much further away, different states or different countries. But I do them in person at my place if anybody wishes to drive. And I have some people that drive 3 or so hours to come see me. But yes, both.
And as you're healing people, are you feeling or seeing anything?
First, let me say, I actually am not healing anyone.
Okay.
I help you heal. Okay. I believe that's a complete misunderstanding in this, I won't say field of this work, but just I help people heal. I am not a healer. I can only heal myself. You can heal you. I just help you, guide you, counsel you. Yes, I do move energies and things like that. But once again, it's kind of like if you break your arm and you go to the doctor, and let's say you broke your arm and it's cut, he's going to sew your body up and he's going to set your arm and put you in a cast, but it's you that heals. It's not the doctor. I'm the same way. I can do some things to help you and get you to that point or but yeah, so I'm not the healer. I help people do that. Your other question is, I feel the energies off of people. What's really common when I'm doing my work, I'm trying to help people, in short, release emotional baggage, emotional burdens, lower vibrational energies is what I also consider them to be. That keep you from functioning and keep you from being aware of who you truly are, the true you. But it also affects how, we see others and see ourselves. So when somebody's talking to me on the phone, or if I am sitting across from them or standing up talking to them like you and I did, it's if they open up and they're willing to kind of expose themselves, open themselves up, a lot of times what happens is I start feeling their stuff. In other words, the person's body starts, so the person's higher self even starts letting me know by allowing me to feel where they're carrying the heaviness, they're carrying that emotional baggage, that energy. So, I may feel it in the throat, I may feel it in the chest, I may feel it in the arms or elbows or joints so yeah, I feel that way. I do get messages and stuff. I'm not a medium or or psychic or anything like that, but I will hear or see stuff from time to time in sessions. A lot of times I'm just getting information or validation of like we're on the right track, or either I'm connecting with your guides or your soul, and just asking kind of some basic questions just to stay on the right track. But I'm not actually trying to gain a lot of information, because your body and your actions and what's coming up with you emotionally is really what's giving me the most information.
You mentioned the importance of people opening up. And I think that's a tough thing for a lot of people to do, because a lot of times it's not warranted, but they still feel a lot of shame. They feel a lot of guilt, or it's just really painful for them to go back and get at the root cause, the core of what's happening. So can you reassure us that we're safe with you?
Okay, that's a good question. It'd be really easy to just say, yeah, you would be safe with me. But to be honest, for some of those who are really on edge about doing this work, in other words, they are really, whether it be me or any counselor, or psychologist or anything, they really get on edge or get afraid of going back to that. It means they need to have the right person. Now, some people come to me and they're not on that edge because they don't realize what's back there. They know they're feeling this, but they don't have or remember the traumas that came with it. But for those who really do and are really on edge, usually what I say to them is, we can do a consultation talk for 30 minutes and we can talk about what I can say, explain to them what I do, how the session would go, but then they can share some things with me. But the bottom line in that 30 minutes is, do you feel comfortable with me? And if they're not, then don't proceed. So it's easy to say they would be safe. And I mean, they would, but it comes down to is how do they feel? Do they feel safe? That's what really determines it, is what they feel, not what really they think. Because if they don't feel comfortable, it's not going to come up. It's not going to, nothing's going to happen.
But I imagine that you've healed a lot of people of a lot of things, and you're not judging in any way. And I think that's what people are afraid of.
You're correct. I don't judge. Yes, I've worked with people of many different faiths and different nationalities. That's one of the good things with being on a phone remote. I can't see you. Yeah, I can hear an accent in your voice or something, but I can't see you. I can't see your home. I can't see what you're wearing. None of that matters. I can't see if, your facial expressions or anything else. All I'm doing is feeling, and that's all I want them to do as well. So no, it's Heather, when we are holding our baggage, when we are holding those emotional burdens, that's what causes us to see people differently, to see them not as who they truly are. And that's a lot of this work is we don't even see ourselves as we truly are. Therefore, there's no way we can see the other person. Now, mind you, I'm not saying I'm completely done with my healing, because I got work to do. And we'll continue.
We all do.
My life. The layers keep coming up and different things coming up. And, if anybody that does energy work says they're completely healed, don't go to them. don't do it. But, there will be no judgment. There'll be no judgment, and even if it's in person. But that's just simply why I don't like doing something like a Zoom call or whatever. It's just I don't need to see anything. Just feel it and let it go.
Well, and I have to share something too with the audience that they did not see. I am getting over COVID. And before we started recording, I could barely talk because I kept coughing. I get this asthmatic cough. And you did a healing right before the first episode and now this episode. And it's helped me to get through these. So I just want everybody to know that.
You do sound a little better.
I do. I feel better too.
Good.
The other thing I want to mention is at the IONS conference, I signed up for your group healing session, and I'd love you to explain that, because there was so much energy in that room. And so many of us were crying, and it wasn't tears of sadness. It was tears of emotion, of just like, wow, this feels so good. And that feeling really did stay with me right through the evening. So tell people about this and what you're doing.
Okay. I refer to it as energy cascades. And the reason why I use that name is simply because when I was first trying to come up with something to do at another show one time years ago, like 5 years ago, I remember really stressing over it, and Spirit literally gave me the term energy cascade, and then showed me what to do. And so what this is, we'll get in a group, and I've tried it in different formations, but most of the times I just do it. We'll do it in circles, and I just ask everybody to just be. I just want you just to be. Don't necessarily ask for anything. Don't be trying to project anything to anybody else. Just sit and feel. Literally, that is the main key, is just feel. And it is acknowledging where you're at right now, like when we begin, and then again when we end. But with me doing my work with helping people releasing emotional energies from, like traumas and things, it all goes back to raising the vibration. When I say raising, it's just changing the vibration from one end of the spectrum to another, closer to love and further from fear. It's not really a high or low, but and this is the same thing with these groups, is when people come together and they're under the same intention or the same idea or what have you, there's a magnification. Now, mind you, if you get a bunch of people together that are angry, it magnifies it. Everybody gets angrier. But we were a group that was coming together from this IANS conference that was looking for, healing. We're looking for peace. We're looking for love, and being happy with ourselves and everyone around us. So we were all on the same page. So it was magnifying towards love. But the point being is the vibration magnifies. So in this group, I do generally over a 2-hour period. I generally do 4 type of sessions, or 4 segments rather. And then we have a conversation after each one of them. And with each segment, the vibration rises. We talk, and it's given a chance after like the first one, and we're like, oh yeah, I felt this. And somebody over here says, well, I felt it too, or I felt it this way. We all feel it in different forms, but the energy's rising. So what I'm doing with this is everybody's sitting in the group. I'm usually walking around the outside of the group or the inside of the group and assisting energy that may not be moving. And it's generally emotional energy stuck somewhere. Not necessarily trying to get the person to completely let it out, but we've had that in many cases where people get extremely emotional as stuff starts coming up, and if it does, just let it keep going. But as the energy moves, if I can help an energy that's in a shoulder or upper chest or anywhere just to move, it allows that vibration to kind of keep increasing. But the bottom line of all of this is, when we raise our vibration, we're actually able to see who we are. We're actually able to see the other person for who they are. I often see right here in the body, I don't know why it's here, but I always see it right around here, is where I see the light in a person. And a lot of times if I see someone who's been doing a lot of energy work over the years on themselves and working on their issues, I haven't seen too many that were just light, but I've seen a bunch that was like looking through leaves in a tree at the sun, where there's a light coming through, but you can tell they've worked on stuff. A lot of us are just simply covered. Doesn't mean it's fully buried, but it's covered such we think this pain is who we are, or this, and it's not us, this worry, this what have you. But this energy cascade, as we are just sitting, as you guys are just sitting, y'all are not doing anything but just being present in the moment and allowing. Well, that's the other thing, is allowing and awareness. That's two things that is critical in the energy cascade. By just being, we're allowing ourselves to feel, allowing ourselves to be completely open, allowing ourselves to surrender to this immediate moment. And thoughts are going to come. Our mind is always going. But it's like, okay, let the mind go, but don't try to diagnose something. Just keep, and I would direct the people to keep going back to feeling. But then the awareness, the more we're aware of what we're feeling, what we're carrying, and the more we are aware of who we are, the more we grow, the more we it's not even growing, it's like exploding. It's like we really start coming out of our shell and getting the glimpses of who we are, or even getting the glimpses of what you need to work on. That's what you're carrying, that's not you. So through these steps and these sessions, we're raising these vibrations just by allowing and just by being aware. And it's not me doing all this work to raise a vibration. I am assisting it, but it's the group, just by being and things happening. And so by the end of the fourth round, usually what's going on is everybody's just like, we're in bliss. We're just like, I don't want to go anywhere. And I've heard that numerous times.
That's it.
And that's but what's even better is, like, was in our group, we had a few people that were even saying that they were seeing themselves that they've been looking for so long. That side of them that they knew there was something there, but they couldn't find.
People didn't leave the session because after it was over, we were all chatting about, wow, did you feel that? And we're all saying, yes, that was amazing.
Yeah, we were talking for like another 47 minutes probably.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very normal. That's that group that I in, it was great because everybody was just ready. And Heather, we spend so much time, and I'm as guilty as anybody. We have spent so much time in our lives looking outside of ourselves for answers, looking outside ourselves for healing, looking outside ourselves for all kinds of things, and we have it all. I mean, we all have souls. We're all a part of that divine, of that God, oneness, I am, source, whatever, however we like to say it. It's all the same. And I've got nothing over anybody. Nobody's got anything over me. Yes, somebody could be a very successful business person over here, and somebody could be very, successful this, or another person could be really struggling and or even in prison. But bottom line, we're all equal. And it's we still have these personalities and lives, do these experiences, but deep down in, we're all one, and we also have generally all forgotten who we are. That oneness, that we have all that information, we have all that knowledge. And no, it doesn't mean like you're going to, just download. For me, it doesn't mean you're going to just download. It just means it's just a knowing, like, okay, yeah, this is where I need to go. But Heather, if we're carrying that emotional baggage, we can't see any of it. I couldn't see any of it. That's why I have to keep working on mine. You have to keep releasing, keep addressing it, just as everybody else. And we're going to get more emotional baggage as a human, and we have to keep going through the layers. But those energy cascades, it allows us, to kind of tap into all of that and see within ourselves, and just surrendering and just watching how a group reacts by doing nothing.
And right now you're going to do something very special. We talked about this in advance, and this is sort of a group session too. And for all of you that are listening, this is the first time that Roland has done this, but you're going to do an energy session with us right now. So I'm going to let you take over, and you can tell us what we should do.
Okay. Just like I was saying about energy cascade, I don't want you to do anything. In case you've got lights on or something, just close your eyes, and in this immediate moment, take a couple deep breaths and feel yourself being pulled back to center. All of our minds are busy. Step away from the mind. And I want you to pay attention right now to how you physically feel. Inspect all of you, from your head to your toes. Don't do anything about it, just notice it. Be aware of it. Any body pains, any uncomfortable feelings anywhere, just simply be aware. Good. Now, notice how you're feeling emotionally. How you feeling in all aspects. Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling heavy? Are you worried? Whatever it may be, just notice it. Just feel it. Be aware. Feeling this is you coming from your soul, not your mind, not your ego. If it's heavy, it's not the true you. If it's heavy, it needs to be released. Allow this to help you be aware of what you're carrying. Allow this to help you be aware that you've got this. You can do this. In this moment, I want you to look, each and every one of you, look within. Look within yourself. You're going to clear the way, clear some of the layers, just so you can see that light that is you. Allow you to get a glimmer of it, a peek of it. The light that is you. That you that is the truth, that you that is the oneness, that you that is I am, that is Source, that is God. That is your truth. See that. Know that is you. Know that is the true you. Be aware of the heaviness. Be aware, because this is what you need to release. Some of you may be releasing now. Through your awareness, your vibration rises. Vibration more towards love, less towards fear. At this moment, just feel. Don't ask any questions, just be. Some of you are feeling the energy almost like a tunnel coming off your shoulders, up across by your head, and moving up from you. Just let it flow. Those are energies that do not serve you. You need to release. Each and every one of you are loved. You always have been, you always will be. And remember, you're never alone. Never have been. Never will be. Because you are one. Okay, everyone, come back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have one more question before I tell people about how they can get in touch with you. I'm getting this real time because we're recording this, but there are people that are listening that are wondering, how does this travel through time and space to reach them?
Well, I think we've all heard there is no time or space. In this life, in this body, there is one, but the true reality is I don't think there is a time or space. So, it's always now, no matter, if you're in human lifetime, or if you're seeing this somewhere else, it's always now. In other words, that true side of us can tap into whatever this is. You can watch this 20 years from now and you can still tap into that.
This is an episode that I'm going to save, and I'm going to re-listen to this in the future because, as you said, this is a process of letting things go. And so the more we listen and the more we let go, I'm sure the more we get at the core of what really holds us back.
Yeah, we got several things that we've gone through in our life that are traumas of some sort, whether it be breakups with someone special, or loss of family members, or being bullied, or just abused. It's so many different things. I try to carry people back when I do individual sessions to go back to the very core, because it's literally like a ball of twine. You get to that one thing and everything else is just a build up on it. But it's not just a build up on it. All those things from that point on, you're reacting in a way because of what went on and what happened to you then. So if we can get to that core, release that core issue, because that core issue has affected every single thing in your life. Do you not trust these people? Do you not trust men or women? Do you not, do you not think you're worthy? Do you think you're ugly? Or, just everything, how we react. Everything is because of that one thing. And then if we can drop that and release that and realize that was not our truth, it's not the real us, real me, then everything else starts changing, and we can start seeing people. We start seeing ourselves, but then, then I can see you for who you truly are, and not have any, get rid of the judgments. But I don't know, Heather, it's just one of those things that I just believe, whether it be from a past life or this life, that emotional baggage is at a vibration that we're not meant to vibrate at. And when we're more towards a fear vibration on a regular basis, even our body cells aren't meant to vibrate there. And we start having health pain issues over a period of time, especially the older we get. And yet, the body does break down, but sometimes not to this extent. And it's a lot of times we're just carrying that baggage that's just not allowing the body to heal like it's supposed to heal, So, but yeah, I think everything goes back to the emotional baggage.
There are a lot of people listening that are going to want to have a healing session with you, whether it's an individual one or a group session. So how do they find out more and how do they reach you?
Probably the best way to reach me is just go into my website, which is inthehealinglight.com. And that's the name of the business, In the Healing Light, but inthehealinglight.com. And you can do a contact page on there. You can reach out to me through that.
Roland, do you have any parting words for the people listening?
You're not alone. You're not alone. And we, we're all one, we're all connected, and, all of us have a soul. So it's just know you're not alone.
Thank you. Roland, I cannot tell you how grateful I am and so thankful that you've given this gift to all of us that are listening to you. It truly has been a wonderful experience.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being here, speaking with you, Heather. Thank you very much.
It's been great, Roland. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks for joining me on Beyond with Heather Tesch. Please add comments and questions you'd like future guests to answer. Also, if you liked what you heard, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. That'll help keep this podcast going. You can also go to Beyond with Heather Tesch to look for more episodes.